Hello, everyone. This is Tero Pesonen from TCCA, together with Peter Schmitt, the 3GPP CT chair. We are here in Bangalore in 3GPP 101 plenary meetings. Peter, wonderful to have you with me today. Could you share us something, what has happened in the CT in the last months and what is going to be happening during the rest of the year?
Yes, okay, yeah, to make it short, the CT has now moved more or less to work completely or on the Release 18 stuff. And Release 17 is really growing down. And we have now also started and completed some study items, which are also related to Release 18. Some of them are older, but we'll see this later. And yeah, at the moment, everything looks fine. So let's see what's going on. But we will see this on slides also.
Okay, so I'll let you start presenting then.
Okay, so this is a short report from what happens in CT plenary, and especially with focus on TCCA and with some additional hints for people who are interested in this critical communication association. So overview, what I will talk about is first the first introduction. I will also give some indication about Release 18 status, new Release 18 work items which we have agreed in this last quarter, and also some Release 18 informations and also some short summaries about Release 18 and future considerations. So as an introduction, so first the number of corrections to Release 17 and earlier are going down. So this is a good indication that these releases are now stable. This is also, if you look at the different number of corrections, this is really seen that these numbers, that we have only a few numbers on corrections and the going down every meeting. And in the last plenary in June, we have aligned all these Release 17 work items with the current status of Release 17. This is that for those who are following the work descriptions and the requirements, that they have a clear alignment, what was in the specs and what was requested earlier, to avoid that people reading the work description find something different than what is afterwards in the specifications and realized in the release. Now in Q2 and Q3, the main work was on Release 18. So, and in Q3, there is most of the work was on Release 18. In CT, we have now more than 70 Release 18 work items active, where a number of companies are contributing to. And the work plan gives some indication about this progress. In these slides, I will just focus on possible things from TCCA. So just some Release 18 statuses. For those of you who like statistics, you see we have for Release 18, we have per TSG about 1,000 corrections approved at the plenary, 1,000 in this plenary, and 1,000 at the last plenary. Last plenary more because there we had more working group meetings in this quarter. Also, you see we still agree or approve new WITs and related TSs. Here on this slide, you see the work plan status. So I have those where we have made good progress are highlighted in red and with yellow background. And also you see that we have some work items newly approved in this last plenary. And we also started some work on this, even when these were not approved at plenary. So working groups start as early as possible on the different work. I will go in detail just to see here all these work items had made good progress so far. I would like to highlight some work items which were new and which are of interest of TCCA in my aspect. So first one was these on CT aspects of enhanced mission critical push-to-talk architecture phase 4. This is a work item in CT1. And here the intention is to define the protocol aspects for the MCPT with 18 features based on the input from stage 2, SA6 in this case. And you find the stage 2 description is related stage 2 TSs. And the next one is also a work item which is also newly agreed at the last plenary or in a couple of last days. This is CT1 only. It's mission critical ad hoc group communications. And here's the indication is the target is to define the protocol aspects for ad hoc group communication. So, and then some highlights regarding work items where you might be interested. So for example, for 5G browser phase 2, we have indicated and added the support of your capabilities and your policy and related service parameters. What should be noted if you are following stage 3 TSs and stage 3 work, you find after this meeting that in CT1, suddenly the code files are disappeared from the zip file. This does not mean that the code file has disappeared from the TS. The indication is simply because CT1 has agreed to not do a copy of the content of the zip of these XSD files, of this XSD code in a separate XSD file. So this code is still there, but not provided in a separate file. And some issues where you're not really first priority on regarding TCCA or Critical Communication Association. We have in CT, we are not only doing the stage 3 work triggered by SA, we are also analyzing possible improvements to this. And for this, we are agreeing and analyzing studies. And one study for this was, for example, maybe you have heard about it, it's so-called QUIC, which should be an accessor of TCP for SPI interfaces. In the moment, we have HTTP phase 2 for our SPI protocols, for our SPI interfaces. And this is then over TCP. And there was a new RFC set provided by IETF. And the question was now, if these new RFCs provided by IETF should be used as a baseline in our 5G system. And this study shows at the end, it will cost a lot of money to the operators to introduce it, but the benefit is very small. And so the outcome of the whole study was, you shouldn't not introduce it and stick to the current protocol stack. The next issue that comes up, those companies who have currently introduced 5G, they noted with the IMS, there need to be they detected some error scenarios. And based on these detections, we have now started a study item which analyzes disaster prevention and restoration enhancements. So this is a study ongoing in CT working groups, in one CT working group. I do not want to go in detail. Maybe it might be good for you if you are interested in this and also have seen some problems when using 5G system that, and if you identify some problems by doing calls and so on, this study might be of interest for you. let's do a summary. So as said, CT main focus is known with 18 work items. CT working groups made very good progress, and we are within the time frame as planned. But as usual, at this point in time, we still have some documents to be postponed because there were some dependencies between CT and SA. So SA is asked to provide some clarification, and this is expected in the next quarter. So, and offline discussion are asked to be done to make sure that we get the reply from SA on time. And this comes to future considerations. So TCA members and verticals. So you may notice now CT is not limited on tasks from SA. We also have some tasks inside to improve the network and how the network is running. So we would appreciate if more verticals would pop up in CT working groups to make sure that in all these analyses we are doing, vertical and TCA impacts are also considered. And with these words, I want to close the presentation. Thank you.
All right. So thank you very much, Peter. You mentioned SPI, that is service-based interfaces. Service-based interfaces. So think about that. And thank you so much for inviting and encouraging us in critical communication, but obviously other verticals also join CT work and then help those specialists there to verify if they have understood our original requirements correctly and whether the services actually do what they are supposed to do. So this is an opportunity for our community. So please maybe discuss with your superior and join the fun here. Thank you very much. How do you see now the future coming when we think about December next year? How does it look for CT in SA1? One starts slowly looking into 6G. How's the world for you?
Yeah, that's really the point. CT is always one release behind SA and two releases behind SA1. And we always have to make sure that we are not forgotten, especially when we have these questions, which I mentioned here, that we need to have a lot of offline discussion. Otherwise, we will get answers very late, which ends up in delay. So with all these communication with SA, we try to keep us in the loop. From TSG level point of view, I always in contact with the other TSG chairs to make sure that CT is always in line with all the discussions and that we are involved in the future issues. So in CT, we'll continue now first doing a number of studies, complete these studies, and then trying to take these outcome of these studies also in these release 18. We hope it will match. But in the moment, everything looks good. We are really in a good time frame. And we are looking forward what will be the next releases and all these packages which might be agreed now in SA, what kind of impacts we will have and what kind of additional works this will trigger to us, because what is the main task of CT is to check the requirements there, the impacts to the interfaces, and what we need to additionally consider on these requirements, what we got from SA, to make sure that the services, what are expected, are really run in the way we would like to have it. And that's the reason why we have these study items, to make sure to capture error scenarios in a way that end users are not impacted by this, but do not note it.
Okay, so thank you very much. Best of success for the work. And we will soon certainly come back and hear what the situation is by the end of the year. So thank you, and please consider this encouragement to join CT work in 3GPP.
Thank you, Tero, for giving me this opportunity.